Good afternoon, everybody. This is episode 10 of SWAC Then, SWAC Now, and we're here to recap, I guess you could say, week one of SWAC football. Uh, what's going on, Best Low? How you doing?
Good, Jones. What's up, Mike Jones?
And I'm just trying to make it.
Trying to make it, huh?
Yeah, trying to make it. Boy, playing these money games, it was a tough week for some SWAC football teams, but
Yeah. SWAC had some tough games this week. This week had some tough games. Let's count how many SWAC teams won this weekend. Do you
two,
know?
two.
Who was the two?
We know FAMU won, right?
Right.
And that was it. Just one, right? No.
Texas Southern.
Texas Southern beat Prairie View. So,
That's right. There you go.
That was an interconference game.
Yeah. So looks like we got a guest in. So let's introduce him.
Came into the studio. So Marcus Dent, former Alcorn football player, has a podcast, the Gridiron Insight. Let's bring Dent on in and let him get into this conversation.
What's going on, guy?
Man, what's going on?
Oh man, it's another day in the college football world, brother.
Oh man, we had just did a little short introduction, and we was talking about a recap of this weekend football games, and so man, a lot of SWAC schools playing these money games, but they took it on the chin, you know.
Oh yeah, man, I seen that. I've said for years and years, it's always good to make a little extra money, man, but at what cost? You know, I think some of these games that we play, I think it hurt us when it comes down to recruiting. You know, for the simple fact, when you go up against a team and it's not even the best team in that conference and they beat you bad, and then you're trying to get a kid to come to Alcorn or any SWAC school, and they like, hey, y'all can't even compete with the lower level in some of the G5 schools. So me personally, I think it hurts recruiting. Like I said, it helps the pocketbook, but I think it hurts recruiting.
So, Dent, would you think the pocketbook is most important?
I wouldn't say it's the most important, because I still think there are games that you can actually schedule that you can actually make money off of, and then have some integrity, you know, at the end of the day. But being in the financial situation that most of these schools are, that's the reason why they play those games. So I think, you know, it's a double-edged sword. If you ask me, if you don't play them, then you lose a lot of revenue. And if you do play those games, you know, I think it hurts you in recruiting. So it's a double-edged sword, if you ask me. I don't have an answer to it. Dion was opposed to it. He didn't like it when he was at Jackson State. And because he felt like, you know, that they could pull any game and make the same amount of money, which I don't think that's true. I mean, I don't know how much we're getting to go to Vanderbilt next week, but I imagine any game we play outside of Southern and Jackson State won't bring that amount of revenue.
Well, then let me just ask you this question, and I guess I can ask the same for Bledsoe too. And I had to be careful how I word this, but I don't want to get in hurt anybody's feelings or anything. But is the SWAC level, is the level of play that much greater at those bigger schools?
Man.
Let me just say this. I looked at the Southern game, right, against McNeese State. They were in that ball game up to the fourth quarter, and then they scored 2 touchdowns and they had a total of 8 yards. You know, you got special teams snap the ball over the punter's head twice. I mean, is that just bad talent, or Is it bad coaching?
No, I mean it's a point of coaching, but you know, it's just like and that's a separate case right there. You know, you're gonna have some schools that have the resources to stay in those ball games. Let's take what is it South Dakota State that played Colorado?
Yeah.
Yeah, those schools,
North Dakota.
North Dakota, that's right. Those schools has the same resources as those G5 schools. Go look at their revenue sharing. Go look at their attendance. They're not a D1 school because they're not in that FBS because they just don't want to be, because they could be tomorrow. Same way App State was when they beat Michigan. When you have the resources, you're going to be able to stay on the field longer. If you don't have those resources, and when I'm talking about the training, I'm talking about the food table, I mean, it's totally different from what you see at an HBCU. I'm going to give you a difference. I'm not even going to go HBCU. I had a young man that played on my 7-on-7 team that was at Mississippi State. He transferred to South Alabama. Well, he was having to use more of his money because the training table wasn't the same at Mississippi State. You know, he didn't get the same quality of meal, the same number of meals. And, you know, he had to make grocery. He didn't have to make grocery when he was at Mississippi State. You eat that last meal and you want to take 2 plates back, 3 plates back, or whatever it is, you got a chance to do that. It's just resources, man. I mean, that's what it's always been, and that's what it is now. From being able to, you know, have an MRI done at school and not having to go to the doctor and being able to get on things quicker like that. It's just so many more resources that some of these schools have that we just right now we won't be able to do that, you know, unless we, you know, come up with a pile of money.
So then here's a question I have though, especially to kind of piggyback on what Mike's talking about. I think I know what Mike's getting at, but he don't want to be real clear about it. And that is the coaching aspect of the game. You know, over time, over a period of time, man, we've been where we've been for years and years and years. We always talk about what we need to be, but we never getting there. We keep on talking about what we don't have the tables, we don't have the weights, we don't have this, we don't have that. Coach Prime said, "Hey, look, let's not play these big games." Where else you gonna get the money from?
You're not going to get
right. You got Pine Bluff paying Valley. Where the money gonna be?
Oh, it's not going to be. I mean, yeah. There was a time when the Classics made a lot of money when I was playing, like the Circuit City Classic. Yeah, I think we had 71,000. Made a lot of money, man. But you know, the revenue from TV has shifted to not our conference. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you can't get the money from those TV networks now that you could get 25 years ago. So yeah, it's changing. You want to talk about coaching, and I'm gonna probably get I'm probably gonna get blasted for this one, but a couple of me and my former teammates, we were talking about what we know now in football and what we knew back then at Alcorn. I'm gonna tell you, it was 100% coaching when we played a Jacksonville State or when we played a Youngstown State. It was because we had the talent back then. We had first-round talent back then. Right now, you don't have that talent. I think the coaching in the SWAC is way better than it was 20 years ago because you got coaches that are going to clinics. You got coaches that are coming from other programs that that has used different technology and went to school to learn different schemes and different things like that. We didn't have it. It was pretty much a brutality, you know, Jimmy's versus Joe's when we played. And I think right now that I think the coaching at the FCS level, I don't think it's much difference than some of the Group of 5 guys.
So well, hold on, then, because we're getting into a little bit different here. Because when you say that, when you talk about the coaching ain't that good, it's good, then we gotta be talking about the talent level. However, recruiting is a part of coaching, isn't it? Yeah, so if you got a kicker, if you can't get a kicker,
that's a part of coaching. Yeah. But you can't. If I had a camp this summer. Mm-hmm. I had over 75 college coaches, over 50 colleges was attended the camp. Okay, you got a kid that I'm looking at. This kid, he's 6'3", 230 pounds, defensive end, and I'm talking to the parent. I'm Alcorn, mm-hmm. And let's just say this school is Cincinnati, or so it's okay. Look, we're gonna offer you this. We're gonna offer you that, and you got 2 kids the same. So, but they look the same, but one got a little bit higher talent level. But when that kid is NIL or his whatever they're going to give him, and say, okay, we're going to give him $3,500 a month to come here. That's going to take care of whatever he wants, plus he's going to get 4 squares a day. So they're going to get the higher rated kid with that money.
Hold up, Dick. That's all understandable. We all know that.
So that's what I'm saying. You're going to get the better kid if you got more resources to give them.
Absolutely. However, let's back up a little bit. Let's talk SWAC then a little bit.
Okay.
Because SWAC now, we all understand NIL is a game changer. We already know that.
Right.
But back then, you talked about the talent level in the SWAC was just as good, right?
Yeah, we were.
Okay. So why we still struggle when it came to playing those FBS teams? Oh, now would you say it was coaching?
It was coaching. They were more prepared than we were. I mean, me and my teammate Mike Ellis, we was talking about that the other day. It's been about 2 weeks ago, and Mike coached at Alcorn and coached at a couple other schools too. But and I know this gonna sound really crazy, but we would get the film on them late. It's not like it is now, like you download the film and it's a click of a button. Man, we'll get the film late, and all they had to say, Coach, we put it in the mail.
Yep.
Knowing doggone well that they probably didn't. And so they didn't call 2 or 3 of their coaching buddies and got film on us. We go out there and play them. They know everything we do. That's why in the third quarter, we start catching up to them. But, I think we were behind the 8 ball on a lot of different reasons. And I don't think it was just 100% coaching. But I know there was a lot of reasons why we couldn't perform. You sitting up here looking at these guys, you grabbing a hold of those guys, and they're no stronger than you. Matter of fact, some of them even weaker than you. But their scheme that they ran was far more superior than what you were looking at.
So let's look at it today, though, because I know you said second half adjustments. So when we see that today, we see, hey, look, we played a whole lot better in the second half. What a lot of people don't realize is they got their second stringers, third stringers in the game. We still got our first stringers in the game. And we still struggle. Okay.
In some schools, and this all depends on what school you're at, the first and second string might be the same. It's all depending on how much competitive depth they have. Mm-hmm. In order for you to win a championship and in the SEC or anywhere, your first and second string need to be the same. Now, your first string might be juniors, while your second string are sophomores or maybe redshirt freshmen. But a lot of programs, the 1s and 2s, they're not that far apart. it's not a big drop off like it was 10 years ago because of what the kids that are being able to get in there and the money. So the drop off on the talent is not like it was when they were twos. But hey, this guy spring his foot. Guess what? That two it becomes a one.
Yep.
He needs to be. He's expected to perform just like that one is.
Yeah. So your depth is a big deal, right?
Yeah, depth is a big deal, and I think in the SWAC you still have a big difference between one and twos. But a lot of the FBS schools, you don't have a difference between the one and twos anymore.
Well, then let me ask you this question: do you think our coaches take these money games serious? As far as
that's something, man, that I don't. I mean, if I was a coach, I would definitely want to win that game. I would definitely want to look good because that helps with recruiting. I mean, you go in and you of course the game's going to be at their place. And you go in their place and you lose by a touchdown or whatever the situation was. You take it. Where did we play at? Back with who were we with? You remember when we played? What was the school? It was FIU. You remember we played FIU?
Yeah. Up in Alabama. Yeah.
Yeah. Now FIU is a FBS school, and man, we played them tough because think about the talent we had on that team.
Mm-hmm.
Think about the talent that we had. We were deep with talent on that team. Our ones and twos wasn't far apart on that team.
Also, FAU wasn't worth a crap either, though.
Well, they wasn't. Well,
yeah.
Hold up, the first year I think
the year we played them, they weren't crap. Yeah,
so
they were crap the year we played them though.
Okay,
because they had just got a new coach. What's the name? Had just became their new coach. So it was his first year. So that was the deal with that. I when I look at it, I understand that it's a little bit of everything. It's the coaching, I don't know whether a lot of times our evaluation of our players are on the same level as some of the other schools, though. Evaluating the player.
Well, it can't be. That's what I'm trying to get you. When you say other schools, you're talking about FBS schools, right? About FCS schools.
Well, we understand. I understand anyway where the SWAC lies in that when you talk about the schools and the separation. I understand that. So every year when you talk about, hey, look, we're about to play USM, the first thing people say, man, we got a shot. Yeah, we got a shot. We got some good players, man. We got a shot. And I say, in hell.
Well, you take the year that we almost beat them, they were horrible.
There we go.
And we should have beat them. They screwed us out of that. We should have beat them.
Yeah.
Those are the type schools. If you want to play somebody for a money game, you go play a 1 in 10.
Right.
And you got a shot. You got a shot at a 1 in 10.
So then you right there where I want you to be, because in those years, we just got this NIL the last 2 years. But in those years, we had talent.
Yeah.
Where we get that talent from? That talent had to come from somebody evaluating talent real well, right?
Okay, that's true. Okay, you might be still getting that if it wasn't for what's going on now with the portal and what's going on. I mean, you got that because that was a different day and time.
Well, what I'm saying to you is I understand that. I'm just saying it still hadn't changed. Regardless, it still hadn't changed. We still not competing with those levels. And for people to think that we will compete with those levels,
that's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. This is what I say when it comes to our HBCUs. And I'm not just talking about the SWAC. You can do things on a smaller level to actually get kids in there. You can go to Alabama and look at all the stuff Alabama has. Guess what? You can't duplicate everything they got. Mm-hmm. But some things you can come in and bring in and put it in at a smaller level. And so, well, man, Alcorn got that, but it ain't as big.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? We don't look at that. Now, facilities is everything. Now, that stadium has been there. We played the first game in that stadium in 1992. And it looks the exact same as it did that back then. To me, you got to sell your university. There's a kid right now playing at Arkansas State, broke the receiving record at Arkansas State. I had him down at Alcorn. And at the time, they didn't offer him. I'm just going to be honest with you. He's probably going to be about third-round draft pick this year. And he was looking, up under the stands. And, man, you see all these cobwebs and you see all this other stuff out there. And, I don't know about the money and I don't know what's going on. What do you have to do? But sometimes you have to look at just your upkeep and things. And kids and parents look at the upkeep. So, you mean to tell me since 1992, we couldn't have upgraded our stadium any? I mean, we could have done something. I'm not saying our stadium is bad. I'm not saying that at all. You guys are not saying that at all.
I think we take you out of the damn hiring. When you say that, we can take you out of the hiring, but nobody gonna hire you now after that. But I get exactly what you're saying.
My thing about it is, I'm not.
It's just a joke. It's just a joke. I ain't.
No, I know, man. I'm just talking about. But what I'm saying is, man, it's just like if you get ready to go, you flipping a house, and you want to sell that house. Man, it's certain things that you can do that don't cost a whole lot of money that make that house look real attractive to some people.
Absolutely, I agree 100%. But then, so let's get to that for a second. I'm gonna jump on that before we jump on these games real quick, because one of the things that I see too, what you're talking about, is I'm thinking I'm an HR guy, right? So one of the philosophies I have is if you can't make the job better, you don't deserve the job.
Correct.
Okay. So if I'm coming and I'm interested in a position at your school XY University, whoever it is, correct, and I see those cobwebs that you talk about, I see where the facilities either kept up, and I come there and I don't do nothing, then I'm a part of that problem. That's correct.
I agree 100%.
So when you got guys who are saying, hey, look, they ain't paying me but this amount of money, hey, that's across the board when it comes to any type of work. Mm-hmm. So if you just do what you get paid to do, then you ain't doing much.
No. My granddaddy always said, make the work work. And, you see something that need to be done, whether it's in your pay grade, if you can do it without causing, a ripple effect or causing any harm, and it doesn't cost you any more time, and it does not cost, you can make something better, why wouldn't you do it?
Right.
I've been going down to Alcorn for years, and I've been seeing, this little type stuff. And I know this minute to some people, but me, a person who's in the football world, who have dealt with 5 stars, who have dealt with 4 stars, who have dealt with 3 stars, who have dealt with kids from all walks of talent level. This little stuff makes a difference. Don't sit up here and tell me it don't, because it makes a difference to the parents. The parents don't want to send their kid to a dirty house.
So since you said Alcorn didn't offer the receiver,
no,
what was the reason for them not offering? What did they say?
The kid wanted to go to Alcorn, and a lot of times they, I've heard, well, he don't fit what we do. Or
one of them.
I don't think he can play here. I've heard that from kids that have went to other places and started and done really well. I heard that time after time. So I'm just going to be honest with you. When it comes to, and that's my alma mater, I love Alcorn to death, but I can't waste my time sending true talent to Alcorn. And over the past years, I probably get 2% of them get an offer, really get 2 to 5% of them get an offer and get looked at. And everyone that has came there that, they played and been all SWAC or whatever situation is. But, everybody have a different evaluation. And maybe my evaluation is totally different from there. Maybe they saying, okay, well, you know what? I would rather you tell me, because I don't think we can get this kid, than to just don't say nothing or don't send me nothing back.
Right.
And most of the time, I don't get anything back.
Well, the three of us on this line tonight are all Alcornites. So I guess we better get off their back before. We only know what we can talk about.
I'm going to say this. I've had no dealings with the current staff that's there now. I haven't, and so I can't put them in the same boat that with the current administration. I can't do that. My former teammate is the president there now, and we've been friends for over 30 years, man. And I value his friendship and relationship. And he's called me a couple times about different stuff, that just some ideas that came through his head. And I gave him a couple of nuggets. Whether he used those nuggets or not, I don't know. But I think, from the talks that we had, that there's some money allocated for, I think, coaches and offices and some different things like that. Maybe they're trying to make some changes in that situation. But I do know this: you don't need football and basketball and everybody in the same spot. That's you don't need that.
Yeah. So Mike Jones, we're gonna wake you up and get you started on these games, buddy.
I'm the wrong one. But you know what? From what I saw this weekend, I think a lot of SWAC schools got some quarterback issues.
Well, very, very few times have you seen a team who did not have a good quarterback in the running for anything. So you got to have a quarterback. So let's talk about this. I went through all the games, and there's one thing that I noticed that was consistent across the board with all of these SWAC schools this weekend. You want to know what it was?
What's that?
Didn't even reach 100-yard rushing.
And what? Offensive line.
Offensive line, or the other team got a hell of a defensive line and line.
Well, I'm gonna say this, Bless. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna stick by this. When any program from top FBS, G5, Power 5, when they start building programs, those are the first kids they coming after. So those are the kids that you're gonna be least likely to find at our level, talent-wise, because they're gonna eat them up before they eat the cornerbacks up, before they eat the running backs up. They're gonna be the first of the herd in the game. So when we play those teams like that, you can best believe they're gonna have. Now, I think there's a bigger gap between the offense and defensive line in the SWAC than it is any other position. And I'm not gonna shy away from that. So when you get ready to go play one of these schools, where's the game won at?
In the trenches.
In the trenches, trench mode, baby. So if you can't win in trench mode, you can't win that battle in trench mode. Hey man, you might as well. It's a long day.
Yeah, you might as well get
long day. So that's my take on the reason why they can't. Why the scores are what they were. I mean, we can throw the football all, man. But when you got defensive linemen that's 6'3" and 300 pounds and big joker running the 4'6", 4'7", 40, he getting back there quick.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that's the biggest reason for the Russian not being able to move the football is because of what's up front.
Yeah, Southern had 66 yards rushing. Grambling had 75. Jackson State had 59. Alcorn had 117.
Wow.
FAMU had 154 against South Carolina State. Texas Southern,
Play Prairie View, right?
yeah, Prairie View had 21 yards rushing.
Man, Prairie View had taken a step back.
Yeah, like a giant step back.
A giant step back.
And they have some quarterback issues also. I don't think they have a quarterback.
Right.
Alabama A&M had 36 yards rushing.
So what do you think about? I watched some of the Alcorn and UAB game. I saw some tackling issues.
Yeah, there's some tackling issues for sure.
I mean, we make some tackles right there at behind the line of scrimmage and right there at the line of scrimmage, and we put them in third and long instead of third and short. And you know, I'm like, I was looking and I was saying to myself, it looked like our guys were fatigued, you know, and maybe that because of the depth they couldn't rotate, and you know, I don't know, but so I seen a lot of missed tackles that I think they could have changed. I'm not gonna say it would have affected the outcome of a win or loss, but I think it could have put them in a better position to be a little bit more successful and getting the ball back in when it comes to field position if they had to just tackle just a little bit better.
Well, then I watched some of that game, and I just didn't think that UAB was all that good.
I mean, they're not that good.
we had what, 3 turnovers?
Not that good.
I mean, we scored 3 turnovers against them, you know. If we just kind of could have capitalized on some of those turnovers, that would have been a different ball game.
Right. That's something that we just didn't do, you know. And when you play on a team like that, man, you have to be a mistake-free football team. You really have to be a mistake-free football team. And I'm gonna say this, Bledsoe, and you know, I'm almost when you playing those games and you playing them at home, I don't care what referees they say they got, you're not gonna get the best call. It's not gonna happen.
Well, I'm gonna bring in another Jackson State guy to the stage right quick, Mr. Rodney Phillips. So let's bring him on board and let's get him in. Hey, how you doing, Rodney?
I'm doing well.
We're talking some SWAC football, man, and just, you know, going around the horn talking about these games and wishing we had the talent at our school now that you all had back in your days, but
I'll never have them again.
You don't think so?
Nope, never have them again.
So while we got Rodney on the line and we all happy because we've been talking down on Alcorn since he hadn't been on the line. Let's get him to talk about Jackson State real quick so we can get out. We can get out of it. We can get back up, bro, because we were down for a minute. So.
You can get out of the funk.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So Rodney, tell us what happened. Tell us what happened in the Jackson State game, man.
We couldn't stop the run. And they controlled the game through that.
Y'all couldn't stop the run, and y'all could not run.
Well,
y'all had 59 yards rushing, bro.
Yeah, that's because we didn't run.
Oh, okay.
Very much, you know. And
we
didn't throw deep either. Yeah, but yeah, I think we just couldn't stop the run was the main thing.
Hey, I got another one of my friends who's a Jacksonian. He's a photographer with Jackson State, and we're gonna bring him to the stage too. So just to let you guys know, we still got y'all outnumbered tonight.
Look, we ain't never outnumbered. We Jackson State, man. We ain't outnumbered.
Man, look, it takes Jackson State. It takes 10 against 1. You need 10 out tonight to deal with one Jackson.
Tell it.
So bring it, baby.
Preach.
Y'all ain't got enough right now.
That's right. We ain't outnumbered. What you mean?
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Y'all good? Y'all good settled in?
Everybody good. Everybody good.
Everybody good? Okay, what happened
We
Saturday
solid.
night?
We solid.
Mm-hmm.
What happened Saturday night?
Yeah. Well,
Rob Phillips, before you start talking, you know I got you wrote down for last week. What you say last week?
I said we were gonna win the game.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey,
Yeah.
before we move any further, Charles is working on his PhD in what is public policy, right?
Yeah, public administration, public policy.
Before we go a little bit further into this, can you talk about the impact towards what's going on at our HBCUs versus the other FBS schools or P5 schools?
I'm sorry. Say it again. Somebody's got some.
Somebody got TV on
or something like that.
Thank you, Jacksonian. Thank you, Jackson State. Appreciate that.
Now say that again, Mike.
Well, right before you came on, Charles, Rodney made a feeling. I said, man, I wish we had the Ella that we had back when he was playing. He was on that team with Walter Payton and Slater and all those guys. And Rodney, you played with about 10 or 12 years in the NFL?
I played 6 years. 6 years.
Oh, okay.
And you made the comment that it'll never happen again. So, Charles, I want you to speak from a standpoint of public policy and how public policy and what they have done to affect our HBCUs versus us getting that kind of talent now and facilities and that kind of thing.
Well, my theory on this has a lot to do with economic policy that's just been set in this country since Ronald Reagan came into power. And primarily, to make it simple, it's literally called neoliberalism, where we create a tax policy that's beneficial to those who are up. You know, people are always screaming about how money is, I guess you could say, you know, it changes hands, but, you know, people want to fuss about my money is going to the lower income folk. You know, they scream about their taxes. But the reality of it is, in this economic system that we live in now, when we pay taxes, when we do whatever we need to do, the money goes up, not down. So it's not going to Shaniqua in the hood who's on welfare. It's going to the richest people in the world. And people don't understand that concept. And it's been going on for 40 years. You know, and as a result, every aspect of our life is impacted by this kind of policy. That's why Ole Miss, Mississippi State have quadrupled the amount of money that goes into their institution as compared to us. Look at the way that major college football is financed. You know, you get your television deals. They get these insane TV deals where they're having athletic budgets that are like $70 million and plus. And our athletic budgets are pretty much so dealing we're good if we can get to 10 million. And that's on the higher end of HBCU.
But I understand what you're saying, but let me do this. Ole Miss has what, about 30,000 students now? They're going up every year.
About 20, not quite 30. They got about 22,000.
Okay, at 22,000 students, how many of those students, when they're finished, going to be pharmacists, doctors, or lawyers? So what I'm saying is, at a greater rate, that they're going to push out doctors and lawyers that could give back money compared to, let's just take Alcorn. You know, you're going to have a few doctors here and there, but not at the rate you're going to have at Ole Miss. And you're going to have a bunch of guys that's in the ag program that's going to be making $100,000 a year when these guys are making $600,000 a year. So when they start giving back at the rate of graduation rate and the rate of our graduation rate, don't you think that had a lot to do with the budgets at the school?
Well, here's the thing. That's not what's financing their program, though.
No, that's not what's financing the program, but that's what jump started everything when it came to facilities and different things. It helped them separate, and then the rest of it came afterwards.
Yeah, but it's still not financing the program in a manner by which what we're seeing here, you know, with these $100 million athletic facilities.
Oh, I know. I understand.
That TV revenue changed the game plan across the board.
Definitely. I agree with that.
You can't get around that. Yes,
no.
They've always had more doctors and lawyers than we have.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that. But what I'm saying, in the early 90s, that money that they were giving back to those schools helped make better facilities. This was before the SEC was giving this money. Yes, so they had when they started giving back to their school, they built better facilities, and then the kids started coming, and when the better athletes started coming, you start getting more money from the network because they had must-see TV.
But you cannot factor out, you just cannot. That is a comparison of apples and oranges. And what I mean is, yes, they were doing that in the early 90s, because I was at Jackson State in the early 80s and watched it all the way through. But my thing was, it was also financed by the state of Mississippi.
Oh yeah, We're
underfunded. We're underfunded on so many levels. Right. It's mind blowing. So that means that when they built that stadium up at Ole Miss and rekindled it, that money came from some state money. That money came from corporations that were involved in the university. That money came from. It didn't just come from. It didn't just come from.
Right? So here's the deal with the corporations. And look, I'm not disagreeing with you, so I don't want you to get that. But when it comes down to the corporations, what corporation is going to give us the same? And I'm just being fair.
We're never going to get that, brother. We're never going to get that from them folks.
That's what I'm saying.
The Regions Bank, the Sausage Company, all those folks, they're never going to give us that kind of money from them.
No.
I mean, we're still
and that helped separated us, bro.
Yeah, we're still dealing with serious levels of racism in America.
Oh yeah, we would never get that kind of money to fund the program. I can remember this. I came to Alcorn in 1989, in the summer of '89, played football from 89 to 92, and I remember I had a choice. I had Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Arkansas, and a lot of other schools. I chose Alcorn State University over Ole Miss and over Mississippi State because guess what? Alcorn had more guys going to the league at that point in time than Mississippi State or Ole Miss. I didn't know anything about facilities and all that kind of stuff, and that I wasn't going to get the same meals that they got at Ole Miss. Man, you didn't know that. All you knew was Jerry Wright got drafted 3 years ago, first round draft pick.
Right.
I mean, that's all you knew. You didn't know anything else. But what you're talking about when it comes to corporations and state funding, it separated us to give them that big scoop that they needed to get to where they are right now.
Oh yeah.
Let me ask a question here real quick. So Charles, I just want to ask this question. Are you pointing fingers at the IHL?
Oh gosh, bro. I work. I'm an in the house black man, so I'm a state employee.
Okay.
But the reality of it is, I tell that truth. Yes, that's always been the case. I was at Jackson State when they got rid of Dr. Peoples.
Yeah.
And that was a situation where he was not running the university. He was trying to Jackson State always had a deficit. Always owed money at the end of the year, and they got mad about that. But he was purposefully doing it because he was trying to test the issue of underfunding his institution.
Yeah.
So they got fed up with it and fired him.
So
now, he had grown this university like you would not believe. Under his management, all those years, Jackson State created graduate programs that they did not have before. He took full advantage of every aspect. He was a brilliant president, but he pushed the envelope so much they just said you got to go.
So all these recent years, these struggles with presidents at all of our HBCUs in the state of Mississippi, all these issues that we've been having. So what would you say IHL had a lot to do with that as far as selection?
I will say that I'll go back to my original statement. I would say that our economic system that we have created for our institutions, this is not a problem at Jackson State or any HBCU. This is a university problem across the country. And what I mean is there was one point in time where universities were state-funded institutions, public universities. States gave schools the majority of the monies that they needed. They did not rely on tuition as your only component of economic movement for the university. What we've done in the last 30 years, and this is not just a JSU problem, this is a University of Wisconsin problem. This is a Arkansas State problem. You know what I'm saying? What the states have done is they have started defunding public education and then putting the universities responsible for their own income, meaning that they rely heavily on tuition. There's always a push to get more students and more students and more students and more students because that's where your main source of revenue comes from.
And then your issue becomes then when you don't have the housing for those students.
And then the state of Mississippi love the way we do business. They turn around and tell us we need new dorms, and they look at us like we're crazy. That's fine. Y'all need new dorms, go build them.
Yeah.
Pretty much they're telling us build our own dorms.
Right.
Meaning that they won't even invest in basically the groundwork of the institution. They will not help us build buildings. They won't do any of that.
Let me ask you this, guys. So, if you think, and I'm just asking a question. Jackson State, Alcorn, Valley, and Lord knows Valley. I have a son that's the equipment manager at Valley right now. You got condemned buildings that's sitting there with yellow tape around them.
Yep.
So, but the state, you want to talk about safety, but the state won't pay for those buildings to be removed.
No, they will not.
And put up different, put up another building where kids can say, you know what, hey, I kind of want to go here because man, it's nice, neat, and clean, and everything. They're not doing it.
No,
and so
they don't have the resources.
You have condemned building. How can you have a condemned building on campus?
Yes.
You tell me that's not a danger?
Well,
I mean, it's a lawful way to happen.
It is a problem. I mean, we had a building on campus for years, CF Moore. And CF Moore had come to the point where it was crumbling. So the university decided to tear it down, and they built a park in that place because they didn't have the resources to basically build a new building there. So we ended up, Jackson State had to do it with its own dollars, basically tear it down. And now it's a nice little park sitting right there. So when I look out I work in the tower. So I look out on the side now and I walk out the door and there's this nice, pretty park. A building I spent part of my childhood, my college years. I grew up on Jackson State's campus. I grew up in West Jackson. So I was on that campus literally every day, going from Blackburn to Provine and so on and so on and so on. I'm a West Jackson kid.
Yeah. Well,
so is the state, is it IHL or is it our state legislature?
It's both. It's both. IHL governs the universities, but the state of Mississippi state legislature and the governor runs the financial picture of the institution.
Well, the second part of that question is, are they treating the I guess you could say the PWIs the same way? Are they letting them build dorms at Ole Miss or Mississippi State?
Well, they have internal economic systems within their institutions because they're richer schools. They have more resources to work with.
Yeah,
So
that's what.
they've got 20-something thousand students. That most of them are not. Most of their students are not on financial aid. Parents are writing checks to send their schools there. No, I would say, you know, overwhelming majority are not on financial aid, so they have more resources. They also have more external monies coming into the institution and based on corporatized relationships. They
So,
just have more resources coming toward them in so many ways. But now here's the thing: when you compare Ole Miss and Mississippi State with their like kind, say another SEC school or University of Nebraska or University of Wisconsin, they're considered poor.
Oh yeah.
And this is how stupid the South has been literally since the Civil War. And that is when you compare them to their own kind in other places, they're poor institutions because they don't have the same kind of internal corporatized relationships. And they don't have the student bodies to basically
No, they don't. They don't have. They don't have that. My son is a freshman, plays football at Oklahoma, and what they have in the athletic facility at Oklahoma, they have had for over 10+ years. And Mississippi State and Ole Miss is just not getting the things that they have had for over 10 years.
Exactly. Oklahoma is a richer school. But there is a richer economy that's guiding those institutions. The wealth of the Oklahomas and Kansas, all those Midwestern schools, was built by huge agribusiness.
Right.
So that means they have way more resources
than
State and Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I tell people all the time. Mike can contest to this. I had an awkward night, and I ended up having to block the guy, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. He was in my inbox and was like, man, you ought to be ashamed of letting your son go to Oklahoma. I'm like, man, if you don't get out of my inbox, I'm like, it's a different day and time. I would be doing him a disservice if I said, no, you going to Alcorn.
Well, brother, I can't argue. Mike told me about your story. I told Mike this, and Mike knows. I said, why you can't beat that man up for making a decision that he made about his family and what his son made, because there's more access and opportunity at those institutions.
Right.
So, no, I wouldn't. Yeah, it would have been great if he had chosen the SWAC school, but something, I understand why he didn't.
Right.
And that's perfectly fine with me, because that's just the economic climate and the world that we live in. And then on top of that, what is going to even widen us even farther away is those NIL deals.
Oh yeah, it's real.
Those NIL deals at the richer schools are working like charms. All that did was, and Saban said this. All that did was just make the rich richer.
Yeah. You talk about an 18-year-old kid, and I'm not going to say numbers, but you talk about an 18-year-old kid making more than his mom with a master's degree and been working at the same job for 20 years.
Exactly.
So, who is going to argue with the kid for taking advantage? Because let me put this in perspective. You can take a kid now, and he could go 4 years of school, and when he leaves college, he can turn around and go buy land and build a house, and not be in no kind of debt.
Yes.
And not have to, okay, I gotta wait, I gotta get a job. At the university he's at, Oklahoma, they have a thing that's set up called Sooners Helping Sooners. You don't go to no unemployment office. That's against the law to go to an unemployment office and look for a job if you're graduating from there as an athlete.
Yep, that is very true.
They make sure your place before you leave. If you're not going to the NFL, you are placed in a job before you leave. You're going to do a intern your junior year, whether you like it or not. I met two brothers last year when we was on a visit before we came there, and I asked them, I said, what y'all in? New York, stock exchange. 50 G's for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
You see them? You see how the game has changed?
Oh yeah. I mean, I had a cousin
so the thing about it is, go ahead.
I had a cousin that played at Arkansas a few years ago. Well, it was in the mid '90s, and he was a big deal. He was first team All SEC. Went to the Dallas Cowboys, tore his knee up, so he couldn't do it. He went to work after he tore his knee up. He came back home, and next thing you know, he's working at Tyson Chicken Farm as some kind of manager with a killer salary. Now, he ended up becoming a high school football coach because that's what he really wanted to do. But the thing about it is, Arkansas, it was just a link. It's what you get. It's access and opportunity because that's what that wealth of those institutions have created. Mm-hmm. And that was his thing. So he could have easily gone down the road because he lived over in Tallulah. He could have easily gone to Alcorn. He could have gone to Grambling. His parents went to Alcorn Knights.
Right.
This boy was first team All-State Louisiana, but he chose Arkansas, and he had a hell of a career there.
He made a business decision.
Yeah, it was a business decision.
It made a bit. Let's dumb it down a little bit. Hold
on. Could you hold on just a second?
Go ahead.
Don't want to get too much off the subject. I got Rodney Phillips on here to talk about Jackson State, and he hadn't had an opportunity to talk. I want to give him an opportunity to talk about the game, man. I don't mean no harm, but let him talk, man. That's the reason he came on here to talk. He's been waiting since 6:40.
No, I ain't been waiting. I said what I said, and that's it.
That's all you wanted to say?
Yeah. I said this week we're gonna light up the scoreboard on one side, on JSU side. The other one gonna it might well take all the bulbs out of the other side. We got Lane.
Well, I mean, we should.
Oh yeah, y'all are bucks. Hold on, wait a minute, man.
We should beat Lane 9 to nothing. That's no if and buts.
Well, you know what? Last year Lane did go and beat Tennessee State.
Hey, okay. All right, I'm finna do something here now. I'm finna play devil's advocate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You got Lane University D2, right? Okay. What I'm saying this because this is what I do now every day. Let's say you got Lane College, they sitting right there.
Mm-hmm.
You got these kids jumping the portal and they waiting for the South Alabamas and they waiting for somebody to pick them up. Man, I'm seeing D2s get kids at the last moment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing it in a rapid pace this year, and I'm telling you, it's gonna keep going because these kids get in the portal and they think, okay, I'm in the portal. I'm gonna get me a better offer. I'm gonna get me a better deal.
I'm gonna get banked.
Some of them in the portal because they got forced in the portal. So don't get me wrong. I want to say the majority of them is in there because they got forced. But I'm telling you, the D2s is eating off the portal because they'll bring a kid in 2 weeks for camp, a week for camp. I had 2 D2s hit me up. They was already in camp, lost 2 linebackers, and I had a kid from California that was in the portal. They went and got that kid out of California. He's playing D2 football right now and starting. And was that a Power 5?
Now, I will say, you do have a point there. The D2s can be scary because before Dion showed up, we played Kentucky State and they beat the socks off of us. And we have been beaten by Tuskegee on a couple of occasions. So, you're right. You can't look past it. I don't know what Lane has this year. I don't know what Lane has this year, but I do know what I liked about the way we played against ULM, and I don't know how ULM compares, but they are FBS program, and we were very competitive in that game.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, the game didn't fall apart until the third quarter. Well, usually we play when one of our schools plays FBS, the game fall apart in the middle of the second quarter. The next thing you know, you're down 35-0. But we had them fearful, and I saw the way our quarterback played, the way the receivers were playing, and the running game was solid. Our defense was questionable in a lot of situations, and especially on that offensive line where they really got control of the first quarter, second. But we kind of made up for it as the game went on, and we kind of got our act together. But so I'm saying that Jackson State may be more competitive this year than they were last year.
Let me ask you this right here. Did you see? And I didn't watch the game. I looked at the stats. Now, do you think they made adjustments? Because we talked about this coaching.
They did.
Do you think they made the proper adjustments in the second half?
Yeah, they did. They did.
Okay.
They did make the adjustments in the second half, especially the offense. The offense came in, got the ball at the beginning of the third quarter, and drove the ball down from the 10-yard line like clockwork against ULM. I was like blown.
That's coaching. That's coaching.
I was surprised. I was like, wow. And I mean, it seemed like every single play, ULM did not have an answer for it. Pass, run. You know, it was just back and forth. They were all over the place. And the next thing you know, the score was 14-14.
I tell you what, I hate to admit it, but I really like what I saw in Jackson State this weekend. Jackson State gonna be a problem, and I don't know why these schools picking Alabama State. Man, I'm gonna tell you,
Alabama State did not look good yesterday.
I'm gonna tell you, man, Jackson State and FAMU, they still be two teams to beat in this season.
Yeah, y'all go week to week.
Yeah,
y'all better get week to week because I'm telling you, this lane game, if you struggle in lane game, it's gonna be an issue. You can talk about last week.
If we struggle against Lane, there will be some questions. No ifs, ands,
who would the question be for? Who would the question be for?
I don't know. It just depends on who they play.
I'm saying the question got to be about the coach, right? If you struggle against Lane.
Okay,
that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Boy, risk.
I know y'all organized like to beat up on our coach, but y'all
they like to
y'all beat up on your own coach.
Hey,
they sure do. Amen. They beat up on their own coach.
I like
That's why McNair is not there because they like to beat up on coaches.
Come on,
Hey,
you know,
no.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Say that McNair is not there because McNair didn't want to be there.
I don't even have to talk about
because they were beating up on him all the time.
And let y'all do it.
You can't beat up on me. You can't beat up on me. So you mean to tell me that you will go somewhere and be a position coach and get your money cut in half because of what somebody's saying?
Man, yeah. I mean, you know,
come on.
Yeah, because he was offered money. Here's
the thing, bro. He had a chance. He's the one that went looking for another job
because he was getting beat up on every day.
Man, coach
winning and still get beat up. Yeah.
Hey, coach get
beat up. Come on, Rodney. Come on now. You need to go. Whatever it is, let me tell you something, brother.
Yes, sir.
Whatever it is, young people, you are in front of young people teaching them life lessons. You got struggles. You don't run from struggles. You face them head up.
That's right.
You teaching those kids that anytime somebody come at us, we just gonna crawl up and go somewhere else. So there's no excuse for that. There's no excuse for that. No matter what I say, what Mike say, what nobody say, your job is to teach those young men how to be men and how to deal with adversity.
I agree.
But why is the adversity created in house?
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
A good job.
Hold on just a second.
Oh, man,
Hold on a second. Y'all act like Jackson State ain't never had no doggone coaching issue. Come on, man. Come up off of that.
No.
Come on off of that now. Don't come in our house talking about what we did in now.
I would be the first to say right off the bat some of the stupidity that has happened with Jackson State internally against their coaches. Primarily, Comagene. Comagene basically won the SWAC East Division. He was at Jackson State 8 years and he won it 7 times.
Mm-hmm.
He won championships there. He played in 2 championship games and it came down to the wire and then they fired him. I thought that was the dumbest move I have ever seen in my natural born life. I can't tell you how angry that made me. Because I'm
Jackson State won't win a Celebration Bowl and like you said on the color purple until you do right by.
That's until you do right by. Exactly. I mean, so don't get me wrong. I mean, but my thing is the crabs in the barrel thing is a Negro problem like you would not believe.
It's not all corn problem. It ain't just all corn problem. Who y'all have before Deion? Who'd you have before Deion?
Man, Deion.
Y'all had Hendrick before Deion, right?
Yeah.
We had Hendricks.
Okay, who before Henry?
We had what's the man's name? From Mississippi State.
From Mississippi State, right? Who you had before him?
Tony. We had Bell before him.
No, you didn't have no Bell before him.
We had Harold.
We had Harold Jackson.
Who you had before Jackson?
Now before Jackson, we had Cummings.
Now y'all talking about coaching changes. Y'all need to get up out of that. Let's move on to the next.
Wait.
I'm not just criticizing y'all for what you did. I criticize us in the same manner.
Okay, let's do that.
I'm proud now.
Let me just
talk about my own school when I
let me just say this. I think Alcorn showed McNair a lot more love than what a lot of people outside the family are saying. And I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Right. He did stay there a long time, and he was.
I'm gonna say this, man. Fred was there my freshman year when I got there, and Fred was a quiet guy, very humble guy. He's always been reserved, right. And but the thing about it is when in these last few years. He had the me against the world type attitude. And I don't know what brought that on because I'm not in his head. I don't know what actually, I know the situation with the president was never good. I understand that from the door, it wasn't never good. But sometimes, man, you have to wade in the water. And sometimes you can't run when things get tough, man, because if you, like you said, you teaching young men, like Bledsoe said, I can't teach him to stay when I'm running. I can't teach him to be strong when I'm weak. And I'm not saying he's strong or weak, but it was life lessons there to be learned from his situation. You look up, he's interviewing for the job at Texas Southern. Me as a staff, as the president, right then, to me, that would have been the last straw because you're making a lateral move. If you want to make a lateral move from your alma mater, then you don't need to be here in the first place. And I'm just going to say that. I know some of my teammates going to hear it. He might even hear it, but I'm just being honest.
Well,
and
I'll say this. As an in-house working at the institution of HBCU, man, you will have things that will come across and test your soul.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes the way that we treat each other within our institutions, and I've seen this with people that I've worked with. I've seen how many people come and go for all kinds of reasons. Sometimes the reasons are just stupid. It's like, why are you getting rid of this talented person and you got this fool in this seat now? We do some weird things in our institutions to each other. And what I'm saying is, if he was having those kind of problems with the president, then he probably started trying to figure that this is probably, I'm going to end up getting screwed on this deal. And he took a move and it backfired. because you can make moves that backfire against you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, because he didn't leave. He didn't leave to take a position job at another institution. He left with in his mind that he had a head coach job at Texas Southern. That's why he left. Now it didn't end that way.
Still a lateral move, was it not?
Rodney.
Yeah, it was. But my thing is,
Rodney, as much trash as I talk about Jackson State, as much trash, no matter how it is, you stand up for Jackson State because you're a Jacksonian, right?
All right.
Thank you. That's all that needs to be said. That's all that needs to be said. You can't make excuses for that. I'm in HR. I listen to a whole bunch of complaints constantly about people that I work with or people who work with me. And you stay there. You deal with it when you have to until you fire. Now you're going to go look for a job at the same level at another institution against your own alma mater. Really?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at.
But I can see somebody doing that, bro. People jump.
You look behind the scenes.
You saw what happened too.
You look behind the scenes. You'll find that most of these head coaches in the SWAC always put their resumes out at the end of the year. Okay, all right. So I mean, that's we were bitter when Dion left, but he left to better his situation.
What would you bet?
Now,
why were you bitter?
Bettering your situation. Now, if he had gotten the job,
what was you bitter for? What was you bitter for?
I told y'all.
That's a whole That's a whole nother. That's a whole nother.
I can't understand your bitterness.
That's a whole nother.
The man was just trying to do better. You can't fault a man for doing better. What was you bitter about?
Okay. Okay. If you want me to tell you,
because he said he was wrong.
Because he was. I'm gonna tell you my personal perspective is that he said he was called by God. And this was a mission, and that it was going to cost him something. So if it's going to cost him something, then why you say I'm going over here to get me some more money? That's
well, I don't care who
that's my outlook. I mean, that's my.
So God didn't call him to go to Colorado. God didn't call him to go to Colorado.
Can I give you my assessment of the situation with Dion? Because I've been getting this off my chest. I had no problem with Dion leaving. It's like I'm a hardcore Jacksonian, to go way back, childhood, all this, Walter Payton, watching all that, grew up with it. Okay, when Dion left, the man badmouthed us in such a negative way. We gave him an opportunity that he did not have because nobody in the country wanted to get this man a head coaching job.
Absolutely.
Let me give you some inside stuff.
He tried to get the Florida State job and he didn't get it. He was mad as hell.
They laughed at it.
But let me tell you this right here. Where did he get his degree from, Smith?
What a little tiny HBCU in Alabama, Talladega.
Please give me 1 second. I know somebody that was on the board there. He got that degree because Dion was supposed to come there and start the football program.
Yes, he was. Exactly.
And then when he got that degree, and then some powers to be made some more calls. His agent made some more calls and said, "Hey, look, man, why work and have to do all this? And you can come to Jackson State. They got 4 Hall of Famers. This, that, and it'll be an easy ride to a Power 5 at that time."
And then on top of that, we got one hell of a fan base.
So Talladega was supposed to be his first job.
Yes, it was. It surely was.
See, a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people don't know that.
He dropped him like a bad habit, and I knew
a bad habit.
He dropped y'all like one.
Yeah, but I knew he was going to do that because that's what. If you look at Dion's career in television, everything he's done, he has always dropped things by bad habit. And when he walk out the door, bitching about what he didn't get.
Right.
I knew that.
When have you ever been wrong about anything?
I knew Dion was going to be Dion, and guess what, y'all? He gonna do the same damn thing at Colorado because that dude would leave when them 2 boys leave. Them 3 boys of his leave. He is gone.
Well, here's the deal. So
last season at Colorado.
is in the last year of his contract. Am I right?
Say what now?
Dak Prescott. Listen, y'all. Listen, what I'm telling you. You heard it here. You heard it here. He is in the last year. Dak Prescott's in the last year of his contract. He's not going back to Dallas. No, he's gonna go get big money. Yep. So one thing y'all got to understand about Jerry Jones is a showman. Anybody that can make him money, he's going to get him. I promise you, that boy gonna be a first round draft pick unless something just falls off the bus.
Yeah.
You watch it now.
He's gonna be a first round draft pick.
Don't think that Shador won't end up at not Jackson State, but won't end up at Dallas Cowboys and their daddy the head coach. Don't put it past.
Well, I don't know about
that. Jack a lot of money. That's what
but I do know.
Don't put it past.
That Deion is leaving. I know he's leaving Colorado this year.
He's gone.
Because that's what Deion does, and he gonna badmouth them folk on the way out the door. Because that's what he does.
I had kids that played for Deion in Texas. They were from Mississippi. Two were from Vicksburg. One was from Jackson. Them kids left. They was at an Under Armour camp. And they left, and he saw them at an Under Armour camp, and he invited them to come play out there, which was illegal. That's why people don't understand. Go look at the last year that he played at Trinity. They kicked him out of the league. They kicked him out. He couldn't even play. He was independent this last year.
Right.
So what people got to understand, he has had some kind of negative footprint everywhere he's gone, but he's such a big rock star that people not talking about.
Play with it. Yes, that's
you got Shannon Sharp, you got all these guys, you got all these guys. They covering the mass of stuff that he has, the trail that he left behind. I got a flyer in my phone. I can give it to you. It's when I took my team out to Atlanta to play the Truth. And guess who was the quarterback on that team? Shador. Yeah. I played against Deion. I was in the same tournament with Deion about 5, maybe 6 years ago at EMCP with his 7-on-7 team called Prime U. Who was the quarterback? Shador. When Shador got ready to go to high school, where was his dad?
Right.
He was offensive coordinator, was he not?
Yeah, he was offensive coordinator in high school.
All right. When he got ready to go to college, where was he at? So that boy has had his daddy as his coach since he was 9 freaking years old.
Yep.
And y'all want to talk about it's all about football? Go back and look at it. I'm not telling you no lie. You think all that's a coincidence?
I agree with what you're saying. I do know
it's not a coincidence.
Those boys leave, he leaving.
He gone.
He gone. He back.
He gone. His boys leave.
If he ends up as a coach in Dallas. But see, here's the thing about it. I do not believe that Jerry Jones is going to put, I don't care how big of a rock star Deion is, I don't believe Jerry Jones is going to put a black man in that position. I don't see it.
Might not. I'm not going to sit up here.
Jerry Jones is one of them old school, good old boys.
Yeah.
You can't deny that.
But I think he's going to take.
Because
I think he's going to take Shador.
The Dallas Cowboys have a serious problem with basically maintaining players because he doesn't write the checks to play some of his players. Why is it that all these years that man has not won a Super Bowl since Jimmy Johnson?
Because again.
With him, it ain't nothing but a money game. He is not.
He do right by Jimmy.
Huh?
If he do right by Jimmy, he won't win another one. See what I'm saying?
So he ain't winning nothing. Because I've been a long time Dallas Cowboy fan, but I dropped him a few years ago because I can't stand Jones.
Yeah, he is the sore of the whole thing. He's the scab on the skin.
And his son is too. Them Texas scumbags. And you know, and if that's like if they went 0-15, I'd be like, okay, or 0-17. I'd be like, okay, cool.
He's you know, the thing about it is, I'm giving you a scenario, and it might not be Dallas, it might be somewhere else.
Right.
If he can, and here's the thing: y'all think all NFL teams are in there to win a Super Bowl. They're not. Some of them are in there to make revenue.
It's a money game, man.
Yeah, it's a money game. So if you can get Dion and you can get Shador, guess what? They're gonna fill the stands up for 2 or 3 years. That's
yeah. You know, I mean, you know, they fill that thing up now. It's crazy how many people. My brother lives out there. But it's crazy how many people show up.
Man, I got a homeboy from Columbus, Mississippi. That got tickets to go to every Colorado game. This Negro wasn't going to now college game till Dion got to Jackson State, and he played at Delta State and had a free agent shot with Miami. I think he did. But this is, you know, he was a D-back and he was a Dion fan. And that's what I try to tell people all the time. They were in that Jackson. You know, they talk about Jackson State and the attendance. Jackson State was already leading FCS in attendance. Dion did not do that.
Yeah, I know.
He did not do that.
That's another thing that pisses me off.
He just lied about. This is my thing. Yeah. He lied about he revived the SWAC. We in the same freaking condition that we were in when he got there and when his ass left.
Look, man, all them years we were losing. We were just almost butt naked last in every damn season. And we were still bringing in 30-some thousand people a game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Every game. I mean, and you like, man, these people sit up here. We're not going to win today. We getting killed. And everybody show up. Brother, I'm going to tell you, our calling card at the end of the day has been and always will be that damn band. That is why our fan base in Jackson is so strong. They come to see the band. I remember years growing up, man, we would go to the game. And we beating the hell out of somebody. Everybody leave after the halftime. We had 30,000 people in the game, and then when the Bulls come out and do their number, everybody gone.
That was last year.
Man, bless them. Let's go ahead and take it, man.
Bless a real hater.
Bless so. He straight up all call hate. I ain't mad that you bless so. I'm looking forward to meeting you, brother. But boy, you was a crap talker now.
They got to come to the hold this year, right?
Go ahead, Dan. What you say?
I said, now Jackson State got to come to the hold this year, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So there's only two SWAC teams that should be.
We done beat y'all in that hole many a day. We ain't scared.
Yeah,
we ain't scared.
Y'all done got looking down there in the hole. I tell you what, and it is what it is. You take Travis Hunter from Jackson State, they don't win a SWAC or have a winning season. Because I think he was the key.
I would say that it was more than. I would say that if you take Travis and Shador, because Shador was showing out.
Yeah, I can't take another kid. I'm not going to.
Let me say this:
the quarterback.
Most years, you can take 1 or 2 players off of any team. Either one of us, Jackson State or Alcorn, and the outcome.
Yeah, but
when we had Terrio, who the hell could deal with us?
That's
when we
right.
Had that white boy. You know, we had what was that other little old boy from the SWAC championship team 2007?
Jimmy Oliver.
Number 9.
Jimmy Oliver single-handedly beat the hell out of y'all, so I don't even want to hear that.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
What you're saying is,
I'm getting ready to touch on some holy ground. You take away Steve McNabb, and y'all would have been 0-4 against them.
That's right. Yes.
No, I disagree. Hey, hold on, let me tell you why I disagree. Mike, this Mike cousin. Now, I'm finna give you some facts, brother. Okay. I'm finna give you some real facts. The guy that we had, hold on, wait a minute. The year before Steve got there, and nothing against him, man, I love him, was brother, and I miss him dearly. But the year before Steve got there, we was all sophomores. We lost 5 games by 6 points.
Okay.
Okay, Fat Sam was a sophomore. He was about 6'4", about 235 pounds. Doug Williams saw him. We played somebody, and Doug Williams said, "This is gonna be an NFL quarterback." Doug didn't know what was coming down the pipe. And when Steve got there was a lot of pressure to play him. Now you talking about Fat Sam was Mr. Football in Mississippi and was supposed to be going to play for Alabama, but because of that man in the middle up there were family. He had Alcorn ties was so tight he ended up coming to Alcorn. Now I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. That the year '90 when we went, I think 9-2. Now Steve made some freshman mistakes that I don't think Fat Sam would have made. And you just don't understand how talented Fat Sam was.
What happened to Fat Sam?
But we don't have to know how talented Fat Sam was because we know how talented Steve McNair was.
You got to understand that in any other situation,
yeah, you talking
that kid would have been.
Why you were arguing about?
No. I'm not arguing.
Who couldn't beat out Steve?
No. You saying that we wouldn't have been the same,
right? Without if he couldn't beat out Steve,
I'll put it like this. Hold on, I'll put this right here. In '91 and '92, I think even with Fat Sam, we were still winning.
Man, do you know what Jackson State, how deep Jackson State was when Steve McNair was?
I know how deep.
You didn't have nobody could block our defensive line, and we would be enforced in the backfield. And Steve would avoid it. They couldn't get a hand on Steve.
Fernando Smith went and played in the league, and so did the other boy, that linebacker. They both went.
I know
you had Leon Seals who played 10 years in the league.
Man, you ain't got to tell me nothing about them guys. I played against them guys.
Right.
But I'm just saying this. Fat Sam was ranked like 8th in the country in high school coming out as a quarterback.
He was. See, a lot of people don't understand what happened.
What happened to Fat Sam?
There was no transfer portal at the time. That's what happened to him.
So he stayed on the bench at Alcorn for 4 years.
For 2 years, because he was older than Steve. You got to understand. For 2 years, he only played 2 years. Then he was gone. He left when I left.
Oh, okay. So
in '92, '92 was his thing year.
Yeah, he wouldn't have been Steve.
No. I never said that. I said
Steve is the only reason y'all beat us those years.
Let me ask you a question. Would Jackson State have beaten Alcorn without Dion in those 2 years we played y'all?
Probably not.
Yeah.
We didn't have the personnel.
Right.
Hold on. Let me tell you right here. How many draft picks did we have while Steve was there?
I don't think Steve can coach himself out of a paper bag, but what Steve can do is get players. We had players, brother. We had those kids that Steve brought in put us in a whole other.
You mean Fred?
Come on, Fred.
You mean Fred McNair, not Steve.
I mean, not Steve. I'm talking. I'm sorry. I'm talking about Dion. Actually, I'm saying Dion couldn't coach himself out of a paper bag. And the reason that we were able to beat y'all was because of personnel. It was not necessarily because of great coaching.
So that brings us back to my first question before you gentlemen got on the line.
Personnel matters.
There you go. That's what we talked about earlier.
You got to have the players. The reason that we owned the 80s at Jackson State was because of personnel. We had so much talent going in and out of Jackson State from 1979 all the way up to the 90s. We had so many players coming in with so much talent, and we ruled the SWAC. We beat
28 straight. 28 straight, right?
You know, because our personnel was better than everybody else's. Period. That's where you win football game. We can talk about how great these coaches are, la. Nick Saban, Nick Saban, the greatest of all time. Well, you're gonna be the greatest of all time when your whole football team are 5 stars. Who's gonna beat you?
Yeah.
Jones.
So that's the question that I had earlier that me and Dent was talking about.
Personnel, brother. Personnel.
I do believe this, though. I do believe this. Anytime Chris Dishman did it this past weekend, anytime you have new personnel coaching coming into the SWAC, most of the time, unless you have, I ain't gonna name no names, I ain't gonna make nobody mad around here. I got some people already mad with me on this call tonight. But when you bring in new coaches, it's hard to catch up because you don't know what they're doing. Once you get to see them week in, week out for a couple of years, then you make those adjustments. My question is, why do we keep recycling the same coaches? Is it that the SWAC can only get the same coaches?
Okay, let me tell you what. Did you look at the coaching this weekend?
That's my whole point.
So who else will hire that?
Well, it's not. That's not something that's not universal. There's in the NFL, coaches are fired in one place and hired at another. I mean, when you get ready to make a decision about who you're going to hire, you got to hire them. You hope that they can be around a while. Okay, so
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Well, you really do, but you know what you need them to do in order for them to stay. Okay, so if you are not, unlike the NFL, where those people who are doing the hires, that's their business and they study it year round. College presidents and athletic directors, athletic directors should do this though, but they don't have the liberty to hire just the perfect person. They have to hire who's on their list, who will come there. And if you firing every other year, then your list of applicants is smaller. Okay.
Well, let me
y'all was firing every other year up there for a minute now.
Yeah, right.
Okay. What do you think a position coach make at one of these top schools?
More than our head coaches.
Right.
500
more than our head coaches. That's all.
500 grand for a running back coach at Duke. 500 grand.
That's right.
At D1 programs make $1 million, so $2 million. So
So your whole staff may make less than a running back coach.
Well, your running back coach is supposed to be your lowest paid coach on the staff.
And they're making $300,000 and $400,000 a year. Come on now, you can't compete with that.
So here's the point to that. So that's y'all answer is because of pay. We keep recycling the same dude.
Well, Bless. Well, you tell me, Bless. So if I'm 24, 25, 26, 30 years old, and I'm at a school that's I know my potential to reach a certain amount of money, I'm gonna be blunt with you. Jake Thornton sit on the couch. I was coaching at TCPS in private school. My son was going at the time. 26 years old, making $400,000 a year as the offensive line coach at Ole Miss. So even the young black guys, why would I go take a job at Jackson State? Because, and I hate to say this, you mess around and go to the SWAC, you get tarnished a little bit. You're not going to get that. You're not going to get picked up by Arkansas or Missouri, and you lose a job at Pine Bluff.
Where did college you come from?
Huh?
Where did college come from?
Tuskegee. He came from Tuskegee.
Okay, all right. Where did Cornell Manor come from?
Somebody who had built a legend there. I mean,
you're talking about you're still in HBCU.
I didn't ask y'all about no doggone HBCUs. I said SWAC. I said we recycling SWAC coaches. I ain't talking about no HBCUs.
Bledsoe,
but
you a special breed, man. Come on.
I said the SWAC. We recycle the same coaches in the SWAC.
how so?
That's the question I'm asking.
Where did that
you gonna get them from?
Where did that
I'm asking why we recycle. You got Fred McNair and stuff.
You're gonna get one from, Bledsoe. You tell me another D2 school you're gonna get one from. Because
I'm asking the question. I'm not asking.
I'm asking you. You said it.
I'm just asking the question.
Well, but okay, look, let's do this. Let's do the salary at Mississippi College compared to Alcorn State. I don't know what it is, but look at it. I bet it's not far between.
So I guess what you saying, your answer is
hold on.
Hold
on for a second, Bledsoe. The SWAC head coaches, I think, are considered some of the highest paid coaches in
Yes.
Yeah,
they are some of the highest paid
they
coaches.
are.
Yes.
No, they ain't, Mike.
It's right here, Mike.
Right here.
When you lead a SWAC, I'm gonna take Ron Broadway for instance. Ron Broadway was a juggernaut football coach.
Yeah, he was.
Did he get the opportunity that Deion Sanders got?
No.
No.
Right. Talk about it.
He was a coach on the D5 level.
No, but what I'm saying is
I'm asking why
some of these guys don't. Because the resources is low. A lot of guys don't want to come.
So if you got a guy who has a winning record, and then a couple of years he's down, he's liable to get fired. I'm sitting over here.
Here's the problem y'all not factoring into it. Here, we might be able to pay a coach. Let's say if we can pay a coach $250,000 a year. We're not gonna be able to keep his assistants at the same rate because you give him $250, those assistants are gonna be making 50, 60, 45. You know, they're gonna be making all this other stuff. So and that's where your talent and coaching comes in because that's who your real coach.
That's who does the grunt work.
Okay, so now we're saying the SWAC is just sorry.
No,
that's what I'm saying. You can't have it both ways. You can't say the SWAC is so great, but you can't get nobody to come coach here. You can't have it both ways.
You can't keep them here for long because you just don't have the resources.
Where they going?
Find another job.
Yeah.
Where?
Hold. I'm give you Bledsoe. What about the defensive court? Hold on. What about the defensive
international?
Hold on. I'm going to give y'all a perfect example. What about two coaches at Valley? Two coaches at Valley left and went to high school, y'all, and got a raise from last year. Yeah. And I know that for a fact. The defensive coordinator and the linebacker coach both left. The linebacker coach took a high school job and making more than what he's making at Valley.
Yeah. Well, the head coach went to Colorado.
Well, I'm my last year.
Okay,
last year.
I mean, the reality that is true. You got public school districts that basically pay better than SWAC assistant coaches. They just do. You can go to a public school. You can get $50,000 a year to teach in the classroom, and then get another $10,000 to be on the football field.
Well, look, you pay Georgia. Georgia got high school coaches making $200,000.
Yeah, that's a head coach, but yes.
Okay, so we can resign. Y'all answer to is money. That's why we recycle.
It always comes down to money. It always comes down to economics. You a young married brother. You got a wife and a kid.
So a guy from Benedict College would come to the SWAC.
I will go work at a high school, basically, if I can only pull down 35 at Jackson State.
So a guy at Virginia Union wouldn't come to the SWAC.
What?
Somebody from Virginia Union wouldn't come to the SWAC. Somebody from Benedict College wouldn't come to the SWAC.
Depends on where he was going and what position he was going for. If he was going for head coach, I'm sure he comes.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you this. This guy from Virginia Union, he want to come to the SWAC. All right, let's just say they offer him a job. Are they gonna give him a moving package to come?
No.
So let's just say he gets a $10,000.
I don't offer moving packages where I'm at. I pay a lot of money.
Raise, so he's still gonna lose money in the end. I'm just saying.
No, ain't no moving package.
Jackson State offer moving package.
Significant enough for him to come.
Jackson State gonna offer moving package to come from Ridgeland to North Jackson. Everybody giving those moving packages, man.
That's what I'm saying. So if I'm at Virginia Union and I'm making 35 here at Jackson State, offer me 45, man. 9 times out of 10, that young man is not going to be in financial shape to, if he got a house, to sell a house or to move and relocate, especially if he got a wife and she got a job.
So
her job might not be transferred.
Let me ask this question then. And then I can get with Mike and get the answers for Alcorn. Where does Jackson State assistant coaches come from?
They coming from a little bit everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
North Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah.
How y'all get it? Y'all offer him a moving package?
Probably not.
Okay.
I'm not aware.
He got an opportunity to come to a program that's winning with good athletes.
Mike, they got kind of quiet. Can you tell them where they got they assistant coaches from? Can you tell them?
I don't know, man.
Well, we got some of them from all corners.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Tell the truth.
But just like
all right.
But just like that, y'all got plenty from us.
Yeah.
I can't recall that.
Where did Steve McNair's head coach for 20 years?
Mm-hmm.
Where was SWAC championships like it wasn't no tomorrow?
What was he at after Steve left?
What?
How long he last after Steve left? Somebody
I don't know.
Hey, I just asked.
What that got to do with it?
Hey, that got a lot to do with it.
Question. I ain't saying it had nothing to do with
y'all
that.
could have kept Ricky Taylor. I can tell you that right now.
Huh?
Y'all could have kept Ricky Taylor. Y'all could have put him in a box and threw him in the Mississippi River. Y'all could have kept him.
Wait a minute, that's my teammate, man.
I don't care. You tell him I said so.
And who was that quarterback who went down to Alcorn, the offensive coordinator? Y'all was mad at him all the time.
Ricky Taylor.
That's what he talking about.
It was another
John McKenzie.
John
McKenzie.
Yeah.
I'm talking about John McKenzie.
Oh yeah, John. I ain't really had no big problem with John. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, I like John McKenzie.
Yeah.
He the best
coach.
But now as a football coach, I look back at the concepts and the stuff that we were doing. Ricky Taylor couldn't coach his way out of a wet paper bag.
So let me ask you.
He went straight the doggone to the Delta, and that's what he should have been in the first place.
You know what? I think they fired Ricky Taylor at Halliburton, man, back in the early 80s, 79, 80s.
So what you say now?
I think they fired him at Halliburton back in 79, 80s.
Man, I'm gonna tell you something. We could have done a lot more. We made ourselves one-dimensional. If y'all look at it, that first year Steve came, we were still running a 21 set type of offense. Then it got to be about the numbers, and the numbers. We were way more potent, I think, because our defense had problems. I can tell you
y'all did.
And they couldn't get no wins.
Wasn't all those defensive coaches Jacksonian?
Hey, look. I think one of them was. You had Dirt. Now, I heard Rapper Down, God rest his soul, come over there to Ricky Taylor, say, hey, man, y'all got to quit throwing that damn ball. My man is damn blessed. Now, Ricky Taylor looked at him and said, you better eat your Wheaties, homeboy. We're going to throw it in everything. Hey, we out there one play, 6-6 touchdown, defense back out on the field. Tom hanging there. If we had an offense that was made to, I ain't gonna say control the ball, because when you gotta score, you gotta score. But it didn't help our overall team because our defense was not bad, guys. It's just they were dog tired. I'm talking about dog. I mean, how many times did we get out there and score in 3 plays?
Well, I'm saying,
and against a good offense, man, that killed them boys.
Well, Rodney,
yes, sir.
I got a question for you because me and you've been friends for a few years, and when we talk, you always positive. You're very, very positive speaker in many cases. When you ask the question about Alcorn's fans versus their coaches, when Alcorn fans are like Tom Brady, we're passionate. Y'all fans like T.O. on the sideline. Crazy. But I'll say this. Whenever anybody on this call, if you sit next to Rodney when that ball is kicked off, he's not this guy that you seeing tonight.
Oh, come on.
He is not this guy. He ain't in love with all the coaches like he pretend to be.
Well, he's a former player, man. So you know he's gonna have an opinion now. I ain't never been around a former player that didn't go absolutely ape shit when the game was played. Well, so they having them memories of when they were beating the hell out of everybody, and then they seeing their team get killed. Yeah,
just win, baby. Mm-hmm.
Hey, Dennis Shaw, let me give you another story on this. Rodney's supposed to be in the Braves.
Well, you know something. Yeah. Thank God he wasn't. he made the right choice.
Yeah, he went for that NIL deal up there in Cincinnati.
Hey, look, I'm gonna tell you a quick story. My homeboy, out of my high school, was quarterback at Jackson State for about maybe 2, maybe 3 years. Sean Gregory.
Sean Gregory, my friend.
Yeah. Same high school and everything. So, man, they had me.
A Kappa.
Yeah. Yeah. And so Sean was like Sean and his and his brother Steve and Dent. So I comes up there on a doggone visit, you know. I'm like, man, yeah, okay. It is what it is, because I was committed to Ole Miss at the time. And man, them jokers got me up there, man, and we went to some party. And I got back to that song on I Barely Could Walk. I said, you know what? If it's like this every night, I ain't dealing with it. I know, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm like, I was like, what's his name? What's the guy played on Robert Harris? I couldn't hang, man.
Can't hang.
Buddy. No, sir. It was serious. Now, Sean did everything in his power to get me down there. But when had a little situation happen, man, with my ACT, they didn't Ole Miss accepted. I don't know if y'all remember this. They had something was called a residual. So a residual ACT at that time, it was only good for that school. And my high school had me go to the W and take it. So I went to the W and passed it. And I thought that would have got me in school, because I think I had a 16, had to have a 15 back then. Well, when it came down to it, Ole Miss wouldn't take it. You know, and I thought I had done everything that was right. My parents didn't know a whole lot about that stuff. And so, you know, then I had my cousins. I had 5 cousins already down here at Alcorn, you know, lived in PG. And then I had, like I said, Sean was quarterback at Jackson State. So it became a SWAC thing then. And I went down there and went to Jackson State. I mean, I had fun, man. But I came down to Alcorn. I'll never forget it. Playing Southern. Man, I ain't never seen that many red bones in my life. I ain't going nowhere. I came home and told my dad, I'm going Alcorn.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know,
I can attest that we had just as many. We just hired out.
That's right.
y'all did. Y'all did.
Yeah, the Campbells was made
Yeah,
different. Yeah.
The Campbells were greedy. They were probably hiding them.
I can believe it. I can believe that.
So what position did you play with?
It was a great experience, man. I wouldn't take. I'm gonna tell y'all, I wouldn't take my SWAC experience for nothing. Right. You know, you got all the money, you got all this other stuff. Nowadays, even these kids at Alcorn, they get a good experience, but they don't get what we got.
Mm-hmm. Look, I can speak from experience because I spent a whole year and a summer session at the University of Cincinnati as a full scholarship athlete. Okay, and the reason I came back is because when I grew up coming to Jackson State games, and there was nothing that I envisioned about college life. None of that was present in Cincinnati.
No,
nothing. I ain't seen that girl that I wanted to bring home to my mom. Wasn't no red bones. So I was gonna come back.
They were probably all red up there.
No, man. They didn't have no tan.
Right.
Yeah, right. And, you know,
that's cold up there.
That's something that
but Chasm would not even talk to me because you know I had signed a letter of intent with Alcorn. And I backed out and went to Cincinnati. So I was going to come back and go to Alcorn with all my high school buddies. And he wouldn't talk to me. Then Bob Hill, it was his first year at Jackson State. And he had signed Walter Payton, Ricky Young, Robert Brazil. And he welcomed me right in to play alongside of him. And the rest is history. We went the next 4 years. Never beat Alcorn 4 in a row. Yes, we did. I never lost to Alcorn.
What was your first year at Jackson State?
1972.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
But then we won the SWAC championship in 74?
Well, you might have won the SWAC championship, but you didn't beat Jackson State. Remember my senior year?
That was a trick question. That was a trick.
Listen, I got another story now if you're ready to hear it. You know, that was the year y'all had 5 shutouts on defense. Okay? Y'all were leading the whole nation in defense. And that game our senior game was at Alcorn. And y'all it was big hype. So there were 2 goal line stands for our defense, your offense.
Oh, you talking about Augusta Lee, Robert Brazil?
Yes, sir. And then, but y'all were leading the game. And then we had the goal line stand for our offense. Mm-hmm. Guess who scored the winning touchdown? They faked the ball to Walter Payton. He did his diving act up over the line, and the quarterback turned around and handed it to me. And I went in, you know, just touched it just a little bit. While I was handing the ball to the referee, the crowd was going wild because they thought that the defense had stopped Walter Payton.
Wait, hold, Mike. Mike, you know where I'm going, don't you?
Uh-huh.
Mike, you know where I'm going. The same thing happened about 6 years ago, and the ref didn't catch it, and we ended up losing that ball game. And Mike got the picture of it. Did it not happen, Mike?
Yeah, but I'm gonna take
y'all Alcorn people crack me up because y'all love to talk about them what ifs. What if this didn't happen? What if that didn't happen? They did this. They did that.
I'm
just
telling
deal
you,
with the fact that we whooped y'all.
I'm telling you a story of a
we won.
The referee missed it. The boys fumbled the ball. We picked it up and gave it to the referee. And they said we scored.
They missed it back in '74 because on that first play, Augusta Lee didn't score. You go back and look at the film.
Well, there you go, y'all. This didn't happen.
Well, I will say that Jackson State has done an extremely good job of putting out SWAC referees. So,
man, look, y'all, I'm finna have to get off this one. It's been great, man. Hey, look, hey, Mike, I appreciate you having me, man. I have to go. I got some work I gotta do.
We got about 5 minutes, right quick, everybody. Okay. This show went on a rampage, but what was y'all's opinion of opening week in the SWAC, week 1 in the SWAC? Just a quick rundown from each one of you guys.
I'm gonna give you mine first. I actually looked at scores and I went back on my ESPN thing and kind of looked at, like I said, I want to point out what Bledsoe said. It wasn't, especially when you played against some of these bigger teams, wasn't a whole lot of rushing yards. I think Alcorn had the better rushing percentages against the FBS teams. I think it's hard to kind of tell the ones who played against the bigger schools. I think it's kind of hard to tell. Once they get in SWAC play, maybe two weeks from now, you'll be able to see kind of where you are. I think Jackson State is not nothing to play with. I think Florida A&M is pretty good. And although Alcorn is my own, I think the jury's still out on them until I see them play somebody just a little bit, a little bit closer to talent. But I do think right now, if I had to pick it, I would say Florida A&M and I would say Jackson State are the two top teams right now in the SWAC from what I saw Saturday.
So let me throw this caveat in there before the next comment. There's only 3 teams next week. Out of all, you still won't know anything next week after this second week because 3 teams: Alcorn, I think it's Valley, and Texas Southern all play up again, and everybody else plays way down. Jackson State plays Lane. Prairie View is a toss up, but Southern plays Savannah State. Texas Southern play Rice. Alabama A&M play Kentucky State. So I don't know. Mississippi Valley play Lamar. Grambling play Tuskegee. So I don't know if we'll know anything after this week coming up.
And to Valley, I know y'all probably don't know this. Man, Valley had 6 starters out, some academic issues, and I think 5 was on defense. And I might have been 7. 5 was on offense and 2 was on defense. They got some academic problems that they're trying to get fixed over there. Not saying it would have helped that ball game, but one was the start. One was I think they're starting left tackle Church. I think he's preseason all SWAC, and then the tight end. And I want to say the quarterback is out this week. I think he got knocked out. So I mean, they're dealing with some other issues right now, man. So they're going to be. I mean, they got a big hole to dig out of going along. Lamar hadn't been good in a long time, but you really won't scratch the surface in that game.
Rodney?
Well,
clear your throat.
I pretty much agree with Willie's assessment. I think Jackson State didn't show a lot of their full arsenal. I know for a fact that there were a few offensive players that didn't play. Okay, but
academic reasons?
No, coach's decision, and I don't think we showed up for offense as well. And then, but the thing that I'm concerned about is that we showed up at the right place at the right time, but we didn't make tackles. Okay. Yep. They pushed. They advanced the ball. They gained another 10 yards after contact in a lot of occasions. So that's disturbing to me.
So are you attributing that's the first time really getting tackling going, or would you attribute that to just better talent, stronger, faster players?
Well, it wasn't fast because they made contact at the line of scrimmage, so they weren't outrunning guys, and although ULM had great speed, they had a fast team, and that had something to do with the outcome of the game. But and they were deep. Their third and fourth running back, you could hardly tell the difference.
Mm-hmm. That's just FBS football, though.
Yeah, that's FBS football. But our frontline guys were definitely competing, and our front line are just as good as theirs. But so I'm still encouraged for Jackson State, and I think the SWAC is going to be strong this year because FAMU looks good, and I expect Southern University to hang in there and Alcorn. So I'm encouraged by the SWAC, and I can't wait for the SWAC season to start so that we can really tell how good our teams are, because everything will be on the board. We will run every play, we will make every adjustment, and we'll use all personnel. And that's something that I don't think is being done in this preseason.
I'm gonna say this for Shaw step in.
Right.
I just think that Jackson State had the opportunity to beat an FBS program. I mean, they are the worst in FBS. And that was your opportunity. I mean, if you holding back on plays and players and stuff.
But you got to know what's important. You got to know what's important.
Oh, hold on, dog. Wait a minute. Y'all finna get me fired up on this.
Okay.
That don't make no doggone sense. You going out there to lose?
No, we ain't going out there to lose.
Okay, all
we
right.
ain't going out there to lose players either.
Well, don't bring that up.
You gonna go 100% to win
the game.
Thank you.
Right.
Boy,
All right, guys, I got to get out of here, man.
Okay.
Appreciate you.
We'll let you go, Charles. We'll talk to you later next week.
All right, man.
Okay.
Charles, go ahead.
Well, I agree with this assessment. I think I was really surprised, and I was actually happy to see the way that we played in aspects of that game. We were in a position to win it if we had just made the right plays at the right time. But you know something, I'm not concerned with that team, ULM. I want to beat Alcorn. I want to beat Valley. I want to beat. I especially want to beat the living daylights out of Southern University, and so on. I want Alabama State, and I want FAMU.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So I don't really give a hoot about ULM. I don't give a hoot about Lane. I give a hoot about the SWAC, and I want to run it and win it and beat it. And then I want to sit back with a cigar and laugh with Bledsoe and Mike about how we worked out. That's what I want. I mean, if we're being honest. Now, in football assessment, we have personnel. He went and got some football players.
Mm-hmm.
And that still show that we still recruiting. The world didn't stop recruiting because Dion left. Now we may not be able to get those first tier boys, like Travis and all them, but we got football players on the team, and I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
And that matters. And when we play in our other schools against who we play, I was not impressed with Alabama State. They did not look good at all. And FAMU has a lot of talent, but they were making insane mistakes, and their hearts weren't in that game in certain aspects of it, which puts them in a position where they should have lost the game that they played this past weekend. But they were able to pull it out.
Are you talking about their first game or their second game? Because they
beat second game. That second game. They should have lost that game. They were getting
Charles,
they were getting whipped good.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm through.
Oh, you through? Since you giving all these hoops.
Like
this is recorded, you know.
I love my Tiger Blue, bro.
Okay. I'm pretty sure that if we would have went back a year ago, we would have had this same conversation tonight. I don't give a hoot about UAB now that we lost to them. Man, we would have beat them. I would have gave a hoot.
Well, you know something? I would have been like, yeah, that was a great win. I'm happy about it, but I still want you. I want to whoop you. I want to whoop the purple and go.
Like my grandmother used to say, you ain't too old for your wants to hurt you.
Say what now?
I say, all you just say, you ain't too old for your wants to hurt you.
Well, we are rivals, but it's a family rivalry. You know, I mean, some of my best friends, Mike Jones, some of my best friends I ever had in my life, you know, purple and gold. I was going to Alcorn, doing the bad years of Jackson State. I spent more time at Alcorn than I spent at Jackson State now.
Well, let me ask you this question before we get off of here. I want to ask this question. Is the rivalry actually the same as it was when we were in school? I remember when I was growing up, every time I went to the next tier, my older brother would say, man, y'all ain't nothing like we used to be. We used to run stuff. And we could be, they done lost 10 games. We ain't lost none. Y'all ain't playing nobody.
I think
that rivalry still the same?
I think the rivalry among our group, our age group, is still the same. We still have the same fire in our bellies that we had when we were kids. I can't say that about this young generation. I don't know. Because I got I've come across some Jackson State kids who don't see folks right. Like, I grew up hating Southern. We grew up hating Southern with a passion. I mean, I can't describe to you how the level of hate that we had for them. If that school burned down, we'd be okay with it. You know, but this generation is different. You know, but I mean, I can't describe. I don't hate Alcorn. I hate Southern.
I don't hate Alcorn. I just love to beat them.
Huh?
Yeah. I don't hate Alcorn. I just love to beat them.
Yeah, exactly. I just like beating y'all.
Well, let me ask you this question. Since y'all talking about rivalries and Alcorn and Southern, so y'all talking more passionate about Southern. Is the Alcorn rivalry higher than the Southern rivalry with Jackson State?
Yeah, I mean, it's more in your face.
Rivalry.
It's more in your face all the time, and because we always interacting with Alcornites and every day.
Because we're very hospitable people.
You are.
You
are.
We married into these different families. So Mike is married to a Jacksonian. You know, that's kind of the way it is. But I ain't that one. You know, my wife my wife always telling me something about her first love. Cause my wife was she played in the band. She was in the boom. But she grew up on the coast. She loved Southern. Talking about that was her first love. Whenever she mentioned it, I would say your first love gonna end up in a divorce. You need to chill with that first love stuff.
Well, I have an idea about why you guys despise each other so much. I think my analogy is right. I think I'm spot on. And that is, y'all are so much alike.
Get out of here, man. Get out of here. I thought we was better than that.
But Rod, here the reason. I'm not going to disagree with that argument because at the end of the day, yes, we do probably feel that we're better than everybody.
Yeah. So I asked the Southern grad.
But we don't wear our sleeves.
I asked them why they were so arrogant.
Yes,
that's the term, right? Arrogant. That's the term, right?
Yeah, there is an arrogance between both of our schools. And both of us
both of y'all are arrogant. That's the issue right there. Both of y'all are arrogant as hell.
Y'all get along with Southern so nicely. I'll never forget the first time I went to a Southern Alcorn game. I mean, y'all get along like family.
Yeah,
everybody having a good
we
time.
very hospitable.
Everybody sitting up eating at each other's table. We don't eat with other people.
Right. That's because Southern can't beat us. They can beat y'all.
Say what now?
That's because they can't beat us, but they can beat y'all.
When the last
Let
time
me
they
tell
beat
y'all
us?
something. Let me
When
tell
did
you
they beat
something.
us?
So I've been down here for 34 years. When I first came down here, Steve was playing, right? And so that era went through. Then they had Pete Richardson era, right?
Right.
So they were all world.
Pete was beating everybody.
Yeah, he killed everybody. He owned the world.
After Pete Richardson, I'm telling you, they don't even. People ask them who they playing this week, and if it's Alcorn in the lunchroom, ain't nothing said. Nothing said. They don't mess with us no more. I don't have any issues whatsoever with Southern Ice.
Yeah. But you know what? You know what? Alcorn stopped Pete Richardson from going undefeated one season. The only game that they lost.
Who beat him? Who was the coach at Alcorn?
Johnny Thomas.
Your homeboy. Right? You just try to throw your homeboy in there, Mike. That's all. You try to throw your homeboy.
He had the problem. I'm still trying to figure out how they pulled off that win.
They couldn't handle College Field and Nate Hughes.
Yeah, Kappa Man did it.
Who's the Kappa Man? Oh, tomorrow, Johnny.
Yeah.
Oh, Johnny
Thomas. Yes, sir.
Oh, I didn't know he was a new. Okay,
yeah.
Kappa Man. But that's kind of my feeling about it. But like I say, I did like beating them. That's all.
Well, I'll tell you when
you don't like it too much. You ain't been doing a lot of it. But go ahead, Rodney.
Tell you when Southern really got on my bad side. Back when they were renovating Southern University Stadium, and they moved their home game to Jackson. They came down here in droves, man. You remember? And back in those days, I was tailgating big time, so I had, purchased a large area of the tailgate.
Right.
These Southern guys come up and it's about 4 feet between my tailgate and the next one. They come and get right in there. I didn't even pay for it. They just snuck in and set up a tailgate right in between them, all in my face. So, and then they were tailgating out on where the sidewalk is on State Street between the stadium and the University Hospital over there. They were on the sidewalk tailgating. They were just obnoxious.
So y'all want me to tell you a story that I hear?
That is true. They can be obsessively rude. They know how to be rude better than anybody.
Here's a story that they told me, which I didn't come to that particular game. I may have been working at the time, but they came up here to play, up to Jackson to play. And prior to the game, y'all opened y'all gates and let all y'all fans in. And they fans had to stand out. They did not open the gate till almost all of Jackson State were already in the stadium. They had to march in. They had no fans when they band marched in. That was closed to them, but y'all was able to do it. That's their biggest gripe.
That's a home field advantage. I don't have a problem with that.
But they also, and I was working at Jackson State when this happened. Their band one year came in early, and the security guard who was supposed to block them did not. She let their band come in before our band came in. It's our home field. We always come in first.
Right.
They came in. They were set up. And as our band was making this introduction, their band decided, something? Blankety blank Jackson State. And they started playing through our entire introduction. And at that point, it was like, oh, okay. That security guard got in trouble for that too, boy. I kind of felt bad for that lady.
I wouldn't feel bad.
So let me ask you this question. This is probably the best question to get on out of here with. So why y'all doing us like that?
Huh?
Doing y'all like what?
Why y'all take the rap from the Golden Girls, man?
Y'all don't know?
No, we don't know.
Why y'all take the ramp from the Golden Girls?
We can't march in no more. We got to just march in to get in the state. We can't come in no more. Y'all didn't know that? We just walk in the bank.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, that's why I was asking. So why y'all do us like that? We so hospitable. Y'all love us.
Why we gonna let y'all go come in and take over our house?
I know. Y'all must be under penalty because your band director, when Jackson State had
our band director.
Wait, let me see. We had an assistant band director at Jackson State. Got the job. Yeah, he got the job at Alcorn. You remember?
Yeah, I remember that. It's been a few years.
And then when he went down there, he wanted to. I mean, he did some impolite stuff.
Yeah, really. He did.
When did y'all do some polite stuff? When did y'all do something polite?
We always. Oh man!
When are y'all polite?
We are always professional in our conduct, accommodating to our guests. Always.
Y'all must don't consider nobody guests.
Let's be honest. I have spent many a day down in Alcorn with Mike hanging out, shooting the games, and then the Golden Girls come rolling up in there, which they get catch many an eye. Why in the world we gonna let you come in there and outshine our J6? We're not gonna let you do that. That's not happening.
I thought y'all had all this arrogance about y'allself.
Well,
y'all letting a little podunk country school.
Listen.
Half the amount of students.
Let me tell you something.
Don't have none of the damn facilities y'all got.
I'm gonna give you credit on this. Your Golden Girls ain't no podunk girls.
No. No. Yeah, but when you at home,
they will catch an eye. You know what I'm saying? So we're not gonna let you there walk in our house like that.
Okay. I guess we are. Do it? Oh, so we'll see that when we'll see this November when y'all come in our stadium if we do anything. No. We so hospitable.
Y'all gonna make us come.
Y'all come on in and get this ass with it. Y'all come on in and get it.
Y'all have paid us back. Y'all make us come in the back door, and that's fine. But once we get in them stands, we're gonna blow you out the room, and that's okay too.
Yeah. Have you seen this year's version of the boom?
Man, this year's version is great. It's off the chain.
So this year's version, y'all got the ones who got kicked out last year.
We might have 400. We might have 400 band. It's insane how big they are.
Awesome.
It's big, ain't it?
Yep.
It's
big. Y'all ain't suspending nobody.
You know, ain't nobody getting suspended, and them kids can blow too, bro. It's more fun. I was blown away by them. I was like, my goodness.
Huh?
Man.
Talking about cover the field.
I had to leave the gym. My ears couldn't take it.
Well, we'll see what y'all do against Valley.
Yeah.
What's that? I don't like playing against them country jokers.
Hey, listen, I like this segment here, man. We got to have Charles back on here, and you know what? Let's get Dr. Bridges on here and just even this thing out.
Man, nobody get a word in.
You don't know this, but Roger's best friend is Dr. Bridges. He's the master Dr. Diamond Baton Rouge. He's homeboy.
Yeah, we went to third grade together all the way through.
Bring it. I go and pull up my notes from all my classes. And all them books I done read in the last 4 or 5 years. So I'll bring all that in.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting Dr. Bridges.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Jim and I have enjoyed it tonight. And I look forward to our next one.
Yes, sir.
Same time next week.
Thanks,
fellas.
Charles. Thanks, Rodney.
Enjoy it, gentlemen. Enjoy it.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, then. Bye-bye.
Peace.
Peace.